Welcome to the Shred the Spread podcast, episode 5, Preview Thursday. I am your host, Jared. If you're new to the podcast, thanks for tuning in. If you're returning, thanks for coming back. Today, as promised, we are here with my pal, my
Yes,
friend,
indeed.
my sports betting companion, Dynell Dineasy. Toppin, what's
We
going on,
back,
man?
baby. We back. We back live on Shred the Spread, man. You know, we had to come back next week. You know, we didn't last week of football was kind of a daunting one. That was a crazy week that happened last week, man. But no, we're back at it. We're gonna go ahead and attack these games now, man. I'm excited. Were you excited for this week, man?
Dude, I'll tell you what, anything can be better than last week. I mean, last week, entertaining. Like, watching wise, extremely entertaining. It's always cool seeing the dogs win. But from a
Right.
betting perspective and from a logical perspective, when you're on here trying to break down the games, you look back and you're like, damn, I sounded like a moron.
Mhm. Hey, man, like I said, it happens, bro. Shoot, like I said, I look like a genius picking the Jets
Yeah,
plus
so
7. I look like a dumbass taking the
yeah,
Ravens minus
you know
5.
what? We
You
we
know,
we did go head to head. We did go head to head. We went head to head. So I am 0-1 versus Dino. I took the Packers minus 7.5, which in hindsight looks absolutely ridiculous. He took the Jets plus 7.5, which, I mean, I guess the guy just has a huge brain. But so quick little rundown. We're going to go through the Thursday night game first. We're going to follow with the 1 o'clock games on Sunday, then the 4 o'clock, and we will not touch on Monday night. Monday night will be covered on the Monday edition for the next episode.
so make sure
Well,
y'all tune
actually, the
in.
Monday episode. Yeah, so make sure you guys check that out if you want the Monday pick. We're going to go a quick rundown of all of these games. We're going to give our previews, our thoughts, a little bit of news that might impact the game. We'll look at some of the percentage of the bets, the spreads, and the total. But then on Saturday, we will briefly go over our official pick. So today, we are just giving out our leans, what we would bet if the games happened tomorrow morning, let's just say. But we do each have a prop for the Thursday night game.
Big
We each
props.
are going to give out a first touchdown score, and then we each are
Mhm.
going to take a side. So we're going to go through the Thursday night game first. So let's hop right into it. Thursday night, the New Orleans Saints are heading to the Cardinals. The Saints are on the road. They are a 2.5 point dog. Cardinals are laying 2.5 points. 67% of the bets are on the Cardinals. And right then and there, without looking at that first, I immediately was like, I really like the Saints in this spot, a redemption spot. The Bengals came behind last game and beat the Saints, covered the spread. What are you thinking on this game, man?
Well, well, honestly, I would take more. I would more take the Saints here, a little plus 2.5. I actually have them winning the game, but like I said, I think the biggest thing about that goes into the fact that this injury list that's going on. The injuries, kind of harder than last week as well. Marshawn Lattimore being out, not being able to be on Jamar Chase last week, and I guess D Hop coming back, I guess validates the Cardinals season right now because they're 2-4 and they just had the ugly loss against the Seahawks. So, but we'll see. This is redemption games for both teams. It's gonna be close, but if anything, I really got more faith in the Saints than the Cardinals right now. There's just a certain feeling going on in Arizona that I don't like.
See, I really like the Saints in this spot too. I think 2.5 points is more than generous. I think I'm with you. I think the Saints went outright. To be fair, the Cardinals are one of the worst home teams in the league. They're awful. They play their best football on the road. I don't know if it's when they're at home, if Kyler Murray has too much stuff and distractions around him, he can hop on the game at his crib and then come to come to ready to play some football. But like he just is a completely different player. I guess when he goes on the road, there's no distractions. He's dialed in. So truthfully, I think DeAndre Hopkins being back kind of submits this line down a little bit because I think if DeAndre Hopkins wasn't playing, I think we're looking at a pick 'em. I think it's no spread. You kind of pick what you think on the money line, but
Right.
I'm with you, man. I think even though the Saints are banged up, I think they get the job done. So just real quick, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, Marshawn Lattimore, Andrews Pete, and Adam Trautman are all out. And DeAndre Hopkins is back. Granted, I think he's going to load up on D Hop for his first game back, because he's not coming off an injury. he's coming back from a suspension, so the dude is healthy. He's as long as he's been conditioning and doing his work
Yeah.
off the field, he's gonna come back in form,
No,
ready to
I
go.
heard. I
So
definitely heard D Hop's been staying in shape. I've been reading that a lot lately. Cliff Kingsbury said he has been staying in shape throughout the whole time. So, and we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, like you said, I mean, I don't see why he went through the D Hop now. It's not like he has Marquise Brown at that moment, and he's about to legit throw to a receiver. That's what 2 days into the system. I don't know how he's even playing Thursday night football, but he's there. So, he doesn't really have really
and
much he can really rely on other than Rondell Moore that's been consistently there. So, and AJ Green, I
yeah,
guess, but
I'm a big fan of Rondo Moore, man.
yeah, you really,
But
yeah,
like even when it comes down to the coaching matchup, like Dennis Allen, he understands what this team is and he's playing to their strengths. Like he's not trying to force the system to the players. He's kind of letting them play with their strengths. And Cliff Kingsbury, dude, I feel like he's such a system player. Like, okay, I don't care who is on this roster. I don't care who my personnel is. This is what we're sticking to. And even Kyler Murray, he said, he wants to run the ball more. And granted, that's where he's talented. His speed, his ability to maneuver through the pocket, step up and get outside of the pocket, and they're trying to stay very systematic, hand the ball off, rollouts, and you can see Kyler Murray is struggling to put up points this year, and this is not the Cardinals team that we're expecting to see.
absolutely not, absolutely not. You definitely expected a lot of explosiveness coming off of a big contract payday that Kyler Murray had and an extension for Cliff Kingsbury. I mean, it's what your third year into the system now.
Yeah,
It's really kind of scary how you're having these problems into your third. I think what third year? Am I correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. Third year
yeah, I
into the
believe it's his
system
third
together.
year.
Yeah, they're both their third year going into this, man. I mean, you guys, I mean, them two together has been through a lot, and then I believe they had a playoff berth in one of those these previous 2 years. I mean, so what's going on? Like, why all of a sudden and now is it seem like the house of cards is falling down? It's not because DeAndre Hopkins. If it's because of DeAndre Hopkins, then we got a lot of problems concerning the
Right, then
fact that
they have bigger issues.
yeah, they have bigger issues. Right, exactly. They have bigger issues. That's really what the problem is. So we'll see. Like I said, this is going to be
Yeah.
it's gonna be one of them battles going out through here. We're gonna see who comes out on top, man. So, but I definitely got the Saints
Like
up, man.
Yeah, so a couple like we'll go through our props, but like real quick, the Cardinals have been one of the worst first half teams. And I know I come on this podcast and I emphasize like Eagles first half, whatever the spread is, you just take it because they are just covering machines. That is the complete opposite for the Cardinals. I don't care what the spread is, take the Saints. I might sprinkle Saints money line. I'm probably gonna take the spread. It's just you just got to keep fading it because the Cardinals have just proven that they do not come out in the game ready to play. They go into the locker room, they get some adjustments. Now, granted, with DeAndre Hopkins coming back, I think Kyler Murray has that comfort blanket. Like, okay, second and long, where's D Hop at? Third and short, where's D Hop at? He still got Rondell Moore, so he still got very like a lot of speed in the slot, but um, I don't know. I think I'm gonna take some of that Saints first half, but what is one of your favorite props in this game?
One of my favorite props. Concerning the fact that you look the Saints right now, like you just said in the injury report, they're without Michael Thomas and then without Juice Landry. So with Chris Olave coming back, you would definitely think he would get a lot more of the targets and receptions. Right now, his yard total is I think I believe it's 59 and a half, and I definitely took the over. I believe if the Saints are going to have success, they're going to really attack that secondary, utilizing Chris Olave, and honestly helping out, especially with the help of Alvin Kamara. That's going to be a huge pickup, a huge pickup. So I'm running with my favorite bet is Chris Olave over 59 and a half receiving.
Okay, I think I agree on that. I like that. It seems a little bit low for one of his best and only targets, in this game.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna go to the other side of this game, and I'm actually gonna take D Hop over 5.5 receptions.
I
As I
mean, I
said
love it.
earlier, this dude isn't coming back from an injury. This guy was the number one option in this offense last year. He was the number one receiver. He had the most yards. He was getting the most targets. I just don't understand. 5.5 seems extremely low. I don't know if if there's like a snap count or something. I didn't see anything on that. Like the dude is ready to go. So 5.5 receptions, like I would not be surprised if he had that by halftime. If Kyler can get a rhythm going and he can hit him here and there each drive, like 5.5 just seems extremely low considering the value. It's at plus 125. Like, 6 receptions for plus 125. That seems extremely doable. I don't see how he doesn't get there, at least in production wise. I think he gets at least 10 targets, and D Hop doesn't drop shit. He's got Larry Fitz hands. So I think
Yeah,
five
you
and a
see,
half receptions at plus 25 is a steal. Um, what do you have for a first touchdown scorer?
first touchdown score. I mean, we're gonna go right off the bat. Like I said, the Arizona Cardinals are a terrible, terrible first half team, as you just pointed out before. So why not go with the Saints around here, and why not go with the most reliable option, Alvin Kamara here? I believe, like I said, he's going to really be able to attack the run game a little bit. He's going to be utilizing the passing game, and versatility always helps you when it comes inside the red zone. And Alvin Kamara has definitely had the versatility to score any type of way inside the end zone. So I'm gonna take Kamara on that. Kind of a typical pick, but hey, take your money and run with it,
Hey,
man. Sometimes
yeah,
you take the easy
yeah,
ones.
there's nothing wrong with it. Like, he's obviously the number one option. He's only getting healthier. He's seeing more touches every single game.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna go a little bit on the contrary. I'm going to take someone from the Cardinals since you took someone from the Saints, and I think when they get into the red zone, there's going to be so much attention on DeAndre Hopkins. It's going to let Rondell Moore run free. So I'm going to take a shot on Rondell Moore first touchdown. I believe the odds are like 16-1 at some books.
Hmm.
And this is just simply because I don't think they're going to run it in unless it's Kyler Murray getting outside the pocket. But the Saints are 21st in passing defense. So I'm going to go on that side of the ball. If the Cardinals score a first touchdown, I'm going to take Rondell Moore. So again, we're both on the Saints plus 2.5. A couple props we mentioned were DeAndre Hopkins over 5.5. Donnell likes Chris Olave over receiving yards. And then I also like the Saints first half spread or money line, whatever it may be. And then he's going with Kamara first touchdown, and I'm going with Rondell Moore. So that moves us to the Sunday 1 o'clock games. And we have an interesting first game. We were talking about this a little bit before we went on air. Um, Browns are heading to Baltimore with a 6 point spread. The Ravens are 6 point home favorites. Talk to me about that.
Well, let's start off by saying the Browns let you down last week. All right, the Browns definitely let you
Yeah,
down last week.
it definitely did, man.
We talked about that, how that was going to be your hell game. Well, yeah, your hell game came true. All right, yeah, it was a hell game. But honestly, this is disgusting. Honestly, to say the least, the Ravens -6 after they just blew a -5.5 against the New York Giants. Granted, they're at home in M&T Bank Stadium, so I believe that's where a couple of those points came in from the Vegas side of it, their aspect of it. But I mean, if anything, I'm definitely going to lean towards Ravens -6. At the end of the day, what like you said, we got the notes down here. But Browns or what against the run, 20 something, what
The Browns are
28th?
28th against the run.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And what is the Ravens' strength? Running the football.
Run the
Seems like
ball.
common
Yeah.
sense. I mean, honestly, shoot, Lamar might run free this game. And I honestly want to see him utilize his legs a little bit more too, especially in crunch time. Like you said, I feel like last week, that nasty, nasty interception last week, he kind of forced that ball into no man's land, and it got picked off by Julian Love, and actually gave the Giants their first turnover in I don't know
Yeah,
how
I was
long.
I was I was surprised to see that. That's some Carson Wentz shit. Like, he didn't want to give up on the play.
You- yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you're like,
that's serious.
okay,
That's
yeah.
seriously some shit he does, man. He rolls out, and instead of just throwing the play away and let's go back to the drawing board, he tries to make a hero play. And granted, that's all Lamar Jackson has been doing. He makes those unbelievable plays, and you're just like, okay, this guy is ridiculous. But he gambled, and Julian Love came up with a huge interception. Um, but I see. I don't know, man. Like, a division game and laying six points
Nasty.
just seems like way too much to me. Um,
Yeah, of course.
I think if I had to pick, I'd lean Browns +6. So there we go, going on opposite sides again. But I see like a decently scoring game. This is a bounce back spot for both teams. They both had very disappointing performances last week, more so the Browns than the Ravens. But
Mhm.
the the Ravens outside receiver or outside corners are basically their late game weakness, and also on the flip side, that has been Jacoby Brissett's you know downfall is throwing the ball. Um, I don't know. I see why you take the Ravens -6, but I just think in a division rough game bounce back spot from
There
both
you
teams.
go.
I see the Browns. I think I'd probably lean Browns plus 6. I think this is going to be more so of a stay away game for both of us. I don't know if you kind
Exactly.
of saw
Yep.
some. Yeah, about to say I
Oh,
don't think neither of us see
yeah,
value.
nah.
The line the
Nah.
line is way too sharp. You know, it's kind of like, okay, who's going to win this? Is this game going to be come down to a touchdown or field goal? I think I see Ravens winning this game like 28-24 though. Um, so I don't know. I think it's more so of a stay away spot. Division game, you really never know how these go because
Division
the Ravens
games,
could go out
man.
there and win by 30 points, and I don't think we'd be shocked um, if the Browns went outright. I also don't think we'd be shocked. So yeah, more so of a stay away game. So that brings us to our next game. The Colts are heading to Tennessee. Tennessee are home 2.5 point favorites, and the total is 42.5. Looks like Jonathan Taylor should be back for this game. Shaq Leonard was a limited participant in practice, but I think he's trending to play. Julian Blackman, Naeem Hines, and Deion Jackson are all for full participants. So both teams are looking pretty healthy going into this game. Another divisional game, so that seems to be the trend this week. A lot of division games, but Colts plus 2.5. I, I against the Titans, dude. I just when I look at this game and I look at that line, I'm just like, they're begging you to take the Titans. Uh, I just I think this is a very similar one to the Cleveland and Baltimore. Like I just think the Colts have been playing too inconsistent to project them to be competitive in this game. And
Mhm.
the Titans do the same shit. They just rely on Derrick Henry, and when he doesn't get going, they really don't have anything. So what are your thoughts?
Well, to be honest with you, this reminds me of? It reminds me of that game last week, Colts and Jags. You kind of just pick one and you kind of hope and pray for the best. And if you win, hey, good job. If you don't, if you don't, well, it's kind of a toss up anyway. But my biggest thing when it comes to this is just remember how you brought up how the Arizona Cardinals struggle in the first half, like they just can't can't get it going.
Yeah,
I believe it's the same way for the Titans on the second half. I believe once they hit the no, I'm sorry, in the beginning. No, I'm sorry, the second half. Yeah, I believe in the second half they tail off a lot. I mean, that's coming from when I was watching the game against the Commanders and the Titans at the time, and they was bringing up they have like one of the worst second half stats in the league as well. Like I said, I'm gonna double check the fact check that. I will definitely cycle back on that again, but honestly, I mean, this looks like it's mainly a get healthy game for Indianapolis. Everybody's coming back. I mean, Shaq Leonard being gone was a huge deal. JT, I mean, come on, it's JT. At the end of the day, if he ain't producing, he's definitely bringing attention. And on top of that, Blackman, Hines, Deion Jackson for participants. That's only good news, man. I would lean Colts here,
yeah.
plus 2.5. I
I
believe.
I think that's the right
Good.
side. Like JT is coming back. He had a week off.
Hmm.
He's gonna be like he looks healthy from what it looks like. I think he's just so due for an explosive game. And like you said, dude, the Titans are not really good coach second half team. Like they're not creative in their play call. Their personnel is like sluggish. They don't really have main targets. Robert Woods definitely looks like he lost a step. Um, I don't know, dude. I don't like. I know Tannehill is like a Garoppolo, like a game manager, but when the Colts have an extremely well coached and put together defensive line, if they stop Derrick Henry and they force Tannehill to throw the ball, I just don't see how they can outplay and out scheme the Colts in the second half. Like you saw Frank Reich kind of flipped the switch. And granted, Matt Ryan had an outlier game. He threw the ball almost 60 times and had like a 78% completion percentage, which is ridiculous because that is unlike how he's been playing. But now they go back to the ground. So how does that impact Matt Ryan? How does that impact the play call? Does Jonathan Taylor see as many snaps as he did before he got injured? Um, I think I lean Colts here too, but there's just so many question marks. Like this is extremely similar to the Browns and Ravens. Like it's hard to take a side. Like you said, flip a quarter, hope for the best, and whoever flips theirs better wins. But
What
that's just
what
that's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, one thing I will say about this is the one thing that will make people taking the Colts plus 2.5, it will make you feel better is Deion Jackson came out strong last game at come out the running back position. That's definitely as a pass catcher. And honestly, with JT coming back, he is coming back. I don't know if there's gonna be a snap count on him or not, but having Deion Jackson, that performance last week was very, very promising. And you might be able to see him work some working some snaps in there too. So it always helps. You know what I'm saying? It always helps when you can get the load off of JT a little bit. I mean, Matt Ryan did throw the ball 50 something times, but Deion Jackson was right there to catch right on the dump off and take it the distance. So,
You know, yeah, if they want to
so
go
yeah,
running back heavy,
it's a good play.
they definitely have the depth. So
Yes, yeah,
you have the
exactly.
workhorse, then you have Hines and Deion Jackson, who are very similar play styles, but you have the depth. So if they want to go run heavy, two running back sets, dump off and play action, then they have the personnel for that. But I'm with you, dude. Like this is just a flip the coin pick.
Yep.
But
There
I
you
think we
go.
both of us would probably lean the Colts. Um, the Buccaneers, I mean, this is just crazy how the spread keeps getting bigger and bigger every week, and I feel like they're not playing any better. The Buccaneers are
That's
heading to
funny.
Carolina. The Buccaneers are road favorites laying 11 points. I, I am befuddled.
Baffled.
Like,
Baffled.
I do not understand how. Now, granted, the Buccaneers could come out here and absolutely whoop the Panthers' ass. You got PJ Walker, who is set to start at quarterback, but Julio Jones and Akeem Hicks are banged up. But, like, do you really need them at this standpoint? I mean, the Panthers looked like shit against the Rams. McCaffrey was really their only source of offense. PJ Walker was not throwing the ball more than 5 yards. It was a dump down to Christian McCaffrey and block and run. Like, the Rams haven't been playing well at all, and they looked pretty damn solid against the Panthers last week. This is also a bounce back spot for the Bucks. So 11 points seems so steep, but like if I had to take a side today, it's crazy to say I'm taking the Bucks minus 11. I just don't trust the Panthers to stay within 2 scores of this team.
This has got to be the most baffling and asinine insult that Vegas has really put out here. That is ridiculous. It's the fact. It's not even the fact that they even have minus 11. It's the fact that they had minus 10 last week, got beat, and then you come back and give you a minus 11. Now, granted, it's the Panthers. I get it, man. It's 11 points, but I don't know. At the end of the day, what has the Buccaneers struggled with? Protection on the inside. Derek Brown's coming. Derek Brown is coming. He's not letting up. Brian Burns is coming. He's not letting up. It's
I tell you what,
this is
Tom
I'm
Brady might
torn.
be Tom Brady might be picking his ass up more times than they score points.
Times I'm
You know,
telling you. I am
if you
telling you.
did you watch the game last week?
Not exact. No,
The
I didn't. But
dude, I kid you
basically,
not.
we saw the highlights. He was talking to that old line crazy on that
Yeah,
sideline.
because the dude's 55 freaking years old basically, and he's getting thrown on the ground every play. Like, man, you got to tech pup up, man.
right. He said my back hurt.
Literally.
He said, my
From
back.
from
Come
carrying the
on.
team and picking his ass up every play. I mean, I don't know, dude. That offensive line is really banged up, and like you said, the Panthers are going to be coming through. Leonard Fournette could not get shit going last week. He was like 20 carries for like 60 yards. Like, granted, that's not terrible, but like that's not going to help them consistently get first downs. And the Buccaneers seem to be on third and long so often, and the whole first half they didn't convert. The Buccaneers scored 1 touchdown last game, and they're 11-point favorites after that. So I don't know, man. Ryan, suck up, get your boot out. You're gonna be kicking a lot of field goals again, and we just gotta hope that the Panthers don't score because I don't physically think I could click a button and take the Panthers. It's just they're poverty franchise, man. Like just throw it away and start over at this standpoint. I mean,
so
give me
so
a break.
So here's an interesting question for you. Okay, I'm going to give you this one, right? So I know you says the total right here is 40 and a half. Are you taking the up over? Would you take over or under here? Since it's like this game is disgusting. Like I don't even think I can even take spreads. If I were to lean anywhere, I'm taking points at this point.
Okay, let me
At
ask
this
you a
point, I'm
question.
taking points.
Okay, let me
Uh,
ask you a question. Do you believe in the Buccaneers to put up 4 touchdowns?
no,
Okay, like I said,
I don't think I don't think
okay.
they have the time to
Hey,
do it.
listen, this shit
I
is
don't think that.
so low for a reason. If you, let me tell you something. If you go up, if you go to your sports book or you go onto your FanDuel app or whatever it may be, and you go scroll down to this Buccaneers Panthers game and you click the over, seek help because
Yeah.
you've lost your damn mind. There's no damn way you are thinking this game goes over 40 points. I'm sorry. I mean, the Buccaneers could win
Exactly.
this game 14-0. The Buccaneers could win this game 21-3. Like I just like the Panthers aren't going to score the damn ball and the Buccaneers can't convert on third down. Like this is going to be a field goal fest and a punt fest. I mean, they're going to get
Think, and
player of the week from 10 field goals. Like Ryan Suckup is about to have be a 95 overall in Madden. Like they're just
let,
like
let
that's
me
all they do, man.
let
He
me
just kicks the shit out of the ball every game, every week.
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right here, right now. If the Buccaneers come out here and they have a close game, I mean, even a scare against the Panthers, we need to ring the alarms. We honestly need to start ringing the alarms on what's going on with Tom Brady and this Buccaneers team. It's getting to what, it's week 7 at this point now. It's
Yeah.
week 7, and you have to, this is now more. And Tom Brady knows more than anybody. Now is the time to hit your stride and really get going. It has to happen this game somehow, some way. This has to happen this game, man. I mean, because there's no way you're losing to. No offense to my man PJ Walker. I still represent PJ Walker, but PJ Walker, and then you have a new head coach, second game. I mean, an interim head coach, second game with no offensive plan whatsoever. Like you said, it was just basically PJ Walker passing throwing the ball under 5 yards.
Yep. Christian
You
McCaffrey.
got
But
like this, yeah, this has to, yeah,
I'll t-
you have
I'll
to
t-
take care of
and
business.
I'm gonna make one really solid ass point. I'll tell you what. The Buccaneers should be on like DEFCON 2, DEFCON 3. But the only reason they're not
Woo
is
woo.
because the Packers lost last week and the Niners lost last week. So this shit is so watered down it doesn't even matter. Everybody just added a loss. All the teams that you expect to contend in the playoffs, they just add a loss. So, if the Niners went out and handled their business, if the Packers went out and handled their business, then the Buccaneers would be, they'd be shitting bricks because that's a bad loss. Regardless, all of those teams called an L, so they're all in the same boat. It's not as severe. Granted, it is one loss, but it's not as severe as it should be, just because there's other two teams caught losses, bad losses at that last week. But speaking of the bad losses last week, one of those teams that came through triumphantly were the Atlanta Falcons, and they are heading to Cincinnati to play against the Bengals, and the Bengals are 6-point home favorites. They're projecting some points in this game. The total is set at 47 and a half, and there are slightly more bets right now on the Falcons. What are you thinking in this game?
Well, there's only one reason why they have more bets on the Falcons right now is because they undefeated on the spread. All right, they are undefeated. They undefeated, never lost, never lost, not one. I don't know how. They To me, they still don't know how to use their talent on the outsides when it comes to the wide receiver and tight end, but they're undefeated, man, and you can't overlook that. Bengals, like you said, Bengals is, I don't know what to think of the Bengals. I mean, they're up, down, left, right. Sometimes they hit, sometimes
Right,
they
dude. They're
miss.
typing out GTA cheat
It's
codes.
Yeah, exactly, man. Like, exactly. There's too many complicated buttons going on right now. It's as if they haven't found their fluidity. It's like I said, they have big plays, but their total fluidity on offense haven't even come close to what they were last year. Um, the line still has to gel, and I still believe they will gel. I mean, they spent a lot of money on that line, but I will give the Falcons props. They're going to come to play. They're going to come. They're going to come to play at home. They ran the ball really well against the 49ers last week. They got to be feeling good some type of way. I mean, this is tough. I mean, once again, this is tough for me. I don't think the Bengals are consistent enough to win by negative to get covered at -6. But then again, I don't think the Falcons are talented enough to keep that +6.
See, and
But
you saying that right, like it almost makes like like I think this is one of my stronger leans this week. I love the Falcons
mhm,
+6. I'm going to the well again. Last week I was on here beating the drum to Falcons +5.5 against the Niners. Like how can you not take that? It's such a letdown spot
all
for
right,
the 49ers. But it's almost like deja vu. The Bengals are coming off a backdoor win against the Saints. They're still playing ugly football. They're still having weird coaching decisions. Jamar Chase just made several plays in that game, especially late game, and that's how they won. They're not whooping anybody's ass. They're going out there, they're struggling to stay in these games, and they're coming from behind a lot of times. They did it against the Ravens. They did it against the 49 or not the 49ers, but they did it against the Saints. So I just I don't know, man. I just don't think how can you not take Falcons +6 here? You're getting 6 points. The Falcons are undefeated against the spread. They ran the ball down the 49ers' throats. So that's what they're gonna do. Um, and if they get pressure on Joe Burrow, then I just it's gonna be another ugly game. And with a total that high, it just I don't know, dude. Both teams are going to have to score. The Falcons +6 is probably what I'd bet right now, and I think it might be one of my bets this week. I know it sounds disgusting, but you got to ride the hot hand. If the Falcons are undefeated against the spread because the public is not giving them enough respect right now. So I'm going to keep riding that inflated line. Like realistically, this should be like Bengals -8, maybe 7. They should be at least a favorite by a touchdown, but I don't know, dude. Getting the Falcons at +6, I'm gonna keep riding that wave until it crashes on me.
Hey, hey, they're underfooted for a reason, baby. Because they've been underappreciated. They've been very underrated. They have been looked down upon every single week, and yet they just still come out find a way to beat the spread. So I don't blame you. I mean that might be just a play where it's like gut feeling, man. They've been undefeated against a struggling team that doesn't have that fluidity yet. Yeah, I will go ahead and take that +6. So here's what I'm gonna tell you. That will be my lean right there. Was that plus
You like the
six?
Falcons +6
You
this week?
know, I like the Falcons.
It sounds so
God, you know
sick.
what?
It
No,
sounds so
no,
sick.
no, no. I'm going against you there. This week, I'm going against
Okay,
you.
dude, we got
I'm
a
not
lot
gonna
of
lie
head
to
to
you.
heads,
The
man.
underdogs, yeah, the underdogs was a big factor last week. Nah, I think the big dog's gonna come out on top this week, man. I really think the Bengals -6, and they're in Cincy. I can understand if it was in Mercedes-Benz Stadium out in Atlanta, but they're in Cincy, man. Like that crowd is still hungry. That crowd is still hungry as it is. They're not no slouches out there. And come on, man. In Burrow we trust, right?
See,
In Chase we trust.
but last week wasn't
You-
even like that. Last week wasn't even like an outlier week. It's just kind of been like a trend that a lot of like it's generally you're profitable taking the points this year. Even it shows in
you're
the
right.
unders
Yeah, yeah.
because usually if you don't hit like if you don't go over, the games are lower scoring, which means the team that's given the points, they have a higher chance to cover the spread. And
To,
I
right.
saw a stat. It was like if you bet $100 on every single under this year, you'd be up like $1,700. And that's just
Sheesh.
directly correlated to usually taking the points covers the spread because if there's less points in the game, there's
Right.
less of a margin, and you have a easier
Right.
and higher probability to cover the spread. But regardless of that shit, I still like the Falcons +6. The Bengals just have to show me that they can whoop somebody's ass one time. Until the Bengals go out there and lay 20 points on somebody, I just don't think I can lay that many points with them. Like 6 points is steep. That's 2 field goals. And they had a come from behind win against the Saints and only covered 4. I don't know, man. I'm gonna keep going
Hey
against the
Joe,
Bengals. They haven't proven anything to me. Kind of like Zach Wilson. Like
I need it.
I still think the Jets haven't proved shit to me, and Zach Wilson has not proven to me that he is a game changer. That literally is all special teams and defense.
But that defense did. I knew that defense did though. That defense really did, man. Sauce Gardner out there balling.
Yeah,
But nah,
stop.
Joe, I feel like that Joe, this is the time to show it, man. You know what I'm saying? This team is not as talented. They're probably gonna sit in zone because they know you like to beat them on the blitz, on man to man. You get them dogs outside, man. Just be patient, find those reads, man, and let the game come to you, man. Zach Taylor, let's get a game plan going, get some play action going, get mixing going. Get mixing going. Get mixing going. Please. If you guys really want this fluid offense, right, you got to get mixing going. You got to get that play action going, man.
No, I agree. I agree. I
Like
definitely
we
think
said
that's
before.
the recipe. You got to get Joe Mixon involved, and you got to get him getting his regular carries and his usage, and they could definitely get back
Right.
up there. But it's hard when you got
Right. Make them
when you
think.
got Jamar Chase out there just cooking everybody, dude. He's unguardable, man. He went from I don't know how to catch a football to I don't know how someone can guard me like within a couple games. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Falcons +6. You're going with Bengals +6. Now these are leans again, so these nothing's official, but I think I heavily lean Falcons +6. So I might have to get my one back in our head to head if you end up taking the Bengals against me. But so that's gonna move
The
us.
best man win this week, boy.
So that's gonna move us to the Detroit Lions are heading to Jerry World. Cowboys are home 7-point favorites. The Lions are expecting DJ Chark to be back this week. Dak was cleared, so I'm assuming they're expecting him to play. and Amon-Ra St. Brown was also a full participant. So Lions are getting healthier, Cowboys are getting healthier, and the Cowboys are laying 7. What you think about that?
Well, here's what I'll say about this. I mean, it all depends on the quarterback. Is Dak coming back? You know, that's the biggest question. Is Dak coming back? I mean, I know they're cleared to expect and they're cleared and expect him to play, but even when he comes back, is he going to be that same that same quarterback to start out the week? You know what I'm saying? I believe he might have a couple of bumps. He's rusty. I mean, he did sit for what the last 6 weeks going into this game. Um, Granted, I mean, no matter what, it's better than Cooper Rush being out there. No offense to him, he did a wonderful job filling in for him. I mean, like I said, we thought the season was over for the Cowboys, and he proved us wrong, and so did that defense. But if I'm leaning towards anything here, boy, because this is to me this is a scary game. I just feel like this is a setup for Dak and them to go ahead and do their thing. But mm, I'll take. I would. What I'll. Yeah, I hate the Cowboys, but I'm gonna take the Cowboys -7 here. If we're talking about money, I mean, I just think the fact that defense is gonna keep that high profile Lions offense down. I mean, the Patriots did it. What the other week before their bye? What 29-0
Yeah.
at one point. So I believe that the Cowboys defense is capable of doing even better than that. Maybe not. They're going to give up some points a little bit. I mean, I hope so, but this is a good game for the Cowboys. I believe this is a perfect game for that to come back and put up numbers and have him come back and be the shining star that that Jerry and everybody believes he is.
Yeah, I just I hope
Nah, this
I
team will
hope
be
this
back.
isn't Dak rushing himself back because he sees a good opportunity to like with no slack. It's not like Cooper
Exactly,
Rush is coming off of a
exactly.
win, and he's pushing him out of the way. Like he's coming off a loss, so there's a lot less pressure because it's not like okay, Cooper Rush won last week. You're taking his spot. You better go win the damn game. Cooper Rush just lost to an like his first test of the year, the Eagles. And Dak's like, okay, well, this is an easy plug and play slot. I can come right back in. Everybody's bitching about he lost the game. They're going to be happy to have me back. But we saw this with Russell Wilson last year or the year before. He came back with that same thumb injury and he struggled. He wasn't effective. He wasn't throwing the ball well. He was turning the ball over. So, I just hope this isn't Dak, you know, forcing himself back to play a little bit early. But I think these are two pace up teams. They both go out there, and you got to remember when Dak is the quarterback of the Cowboys, they're like a top 3 team in offensive pace. They go out there, they like no huddle, they throw balls down the field. They're not going to hide Cooper Rush. They're not going to hide Dak like they were hiding the quarterback with Cooper Rush. They were handing the ball. Just maintain the game. Don't turn the ball over. Trust the defense. But Dak's going to go out there. He's going to launch that shit. He's going to throw it to his playmakers. He's going to hit CeeDee Lamb. And, Zeke's going to get on the outside with Tony Pollard. They're going to catch passes in the backfield, but they're going to be out and running. The Lions do the same shit. They got Amon-Ra St. Brown back, and they're getting DJ Chark. So you have 2 threats, and Jared Goff has been slinging it well. So I think I lean the over in this game. 49 points. It's a little high, but it's high for a reason. They know these teams are going to go out there and they're trying to score points. It's the battle of who can put up 30. So I think the Cowboys win this game. But I do think it's a very high scoring game. So I'd like the over. I think Dak coming back, he's gonna be fired. I would not be surprised if he throws the ball 40 times.
Nah, like I said, I can't knock you on that. Like I said, I can't knock you on that. I can't knock that. Um, like I said, my only pet peeve I have with that right now is like I said, is that Cowboys defense. You know what I'm saying? I know that Cowboys offense is probably going to demolish the Lions defense, but I got a feeling, the way the Dallas Cowboys defense has been playing. Granted, of course against Philadelphia Eagles, I mean a superior, the top team in the NFC right now. I mean that's a huge difference, but
I think the
they
Lions are
held
going to
their
go down
own.
early. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
think the
held
Lions
their
go
own
down early, and
until
they're gonna pass the ball and
yeah,
try to get back into the game. So I think this is definitely going to favor the over in this game.
okay. You know what? And like I said, yeah, we're gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna leave it like that. We're gonna see. Let's see how Dak is when he comes back. Let's hope it's not rushing
All
him back.
right,
That's what I'm
so
waiting to
let's
see.
go to another ugly game, and this just so happens to be your favorite team. The Green Bay Packers are
Mm-hmm.
traveling to sorry ass FedEx Field to play the Commanders. Man, I'll tell you what, you might be
Yeah,
surprised, but Commanders are +5, which the Packers laying 5. Are you kidding me? I don't care who they're playing. I'm not taking the Packers with points until they can prove that they can play football again. The Commanders are +5, and the funniest part
Yes,
about this,
indeed.
the bets right now on the public are split 50-50. So, they think this is an accurate line. I'll tell you what, this line should be more like Commanders +2.5, Commanders +3. Give me the Commanders +5. Are you kidding me?
Thank you. Thank you. See, I'm just glad I wasn't alone. I'm glad I wasn't alone here. I mean, I thought I was, being a little biased because it's my team, but let me tell you something. The Packers looked atrocious in back-to-back games against New York teams, right? Daniel Jones and the Giants dropped what, 27
Hmm.
against that Packers defense? Am I
Yeah, the
right?
London game.
Right? I mean, and that's all that's yeah, in that London game, right? Let me tell you some of this Commanders defense. All right. This Commanders defense has had 11 sacks in the past 2 weeks. 11 sacks, 6 against Justin Fields, which that's not saying nothing. I mean, that that line is not great. And then I believe they had 5, yeah, 5 last week against, yeah, it was 6, I'm sorry, 6 against Justin Field, and then I think 5 the previous week before. Montez Sweat is starting to come out hot now after starting off the first 5 games without a sack. Now he has 3 in the last 2 games. Jonathan Allen is always there in the middle. Deron Payne is there in the middle. I mean, they each had a sack last week. And even the edge, even when Chase Young not there, my man Obata got a sack last week. I believe it's going to be a fest, man. I mean, if they're going to continue to drop back and pass the ball, I mean, the Commanders' defensive line is going to be there all day. Now, what it's going to depend on is that running game. Can they get that running game going? Because that's the one thing. That's the one thing at the moment the Commanders really struggle on. Maybe not the middle, maybe on the outside since Chase Young's not there. But
And
I mean, man, this is like you said. This is
and I
this is
think I
a
have a
crazy
hot take.
game, and
Yeah, I think I have a
I'm
hot
taking
take on
Commanders
this,
plus
right?
5.
So, um,
Okay.
I'm gonna sound crazy, but I think if this game had no Wentz, um, you know, I think, I
See,
mean, if this
see,
game
go
has
ahead,
Wentz, I
say it.
think I lean Packers because I just think there's so much more turnover there. He's more turnover prone. But
Exactly.
here's how this comes full circle, right? There's no Wentz, so you got Heineke in there. That's going to help the run game because number one, Taylor
Mhm.
Heineke doesn't hold on to the ball so long like Wentz does. Wentz is piss poor with play action. When he does a play action pass, he rolls out and he doesn't make a read. It's like he just takes a sack almost every single time. And Taylor Heineke, he's going to get rid of the ball. They're going to be able to run play action again, which means they can get an effective running game. I think Robinson is going to have a very, very good game. The Commanders are going to take less sacks. They're
Indeed,
going to
he
have
is.
better field position because they're not going to be, taking those long sacks. Because when Carson, let's face it, when Carson Wentz takes sacks, he's not taking 4 yard sacks. He's taking like 9, 10 yard sacks because he tries to make plays and he won't throw the ball away. But the Packers are still rough. They're still trying to find their identity. Like Aaron Rodgers still doesn't have a third down guy. Does he go to Aaron Jones? Does he go to Alan Lazard? Does he go to Romeo Dobbs? He's still trying to figure that the hell out. Him and Romeo at the beginning of the year, they thought, we thought we are getting some connection there, but now he's kind of going back to Lazard, and they still haven't been able to run the ball. Like Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon ran the ball like 20 times last week for like 60 yards. It was like no production. So, I don't think you're going to be able to run down Washington's throat. I still think you're going to have to pass the ball, and they don't have a terrible passing defense. Aaron Rodgers is getting a lot of pressures, so that defensive line for Washington is going to come through. They're going to force the ball out Aaron Rodgers' hands, and he might make a mistake here and there, but he's not going to have any time for his receivers to get open. He doesn't have that safety blanket in Devontae Adams. I just think Commanders plus 5 points against the Packers is a slap in the damn face. And if you're sitting here taking the Packers -5 after last week's performance, like I just don't understand how. The game total is at 41 points. This is going to be an ugly game. The offenses aren't going to be flowing like they usually do. Commanders are going to run the ball. They're going to run the ball well, and I think I would not be surprised if they win this shit outright. Like I'm not kidding.
100%. Honestly, I'm a. This is coming from a Commanders fan, okay? So I'm gonna kind of just break it down to you in a Commanders fan point of view, right? Taylor Heineke for all my Commanders fans out there, I know Taylor Heineke brings you guys a lot more hope right now. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. Commanders fans are pumped up right now. This is a chance, granted, we're not starting off season right now. We have a big dark cloud over this organization, over our owner who could not lose his team. The team hasn't looked great. The coaching staff is on the hot seat. I feel like there's something about Taylor Heineke that brings kind of like okay, this our guy's back, an improviser, somebody who's a football player, not a quarterback. You understand what I'm saying to you? I feel like when you look at Carson Wentz, what you mean by he tries so hard? He tries so hard to stay in the pocket. He tries so hard to get out, roll out, and throw and throw and throw and throw. He wants to prove he's a quarterback. I feel like there's a lot of times where Carson Wentz can use his legs a lot more, but he's thinking too much of the quarterback position and not just being a football player. I mean, you can see it. He's second guessing everything. He's like,
Dude,
oh,
that
as
might
a
have
Commanders
been
fan,
that
it's
might have been
tough,
the
and it's not all his
smartest,
fault.
most clever shit I've ever heard you say. He's not a quarterback. He's a
Yeah,
football player. The dude's gonna compete. And
football
listen,
player,
and
right?
he is
And
going
he's
to
fun.
ball because number one, he doesn't think he should have lost his job. You could tell it on the or the interview when they said, hey, what's your proposition on the Carson Wentz trade? He said he didn't say, I wish Carson the best. I think I'll be starting. It's gonna be a good fight. He said, and I quote, well, the dude's making all this money. They're gonna play him. And that right there, that's not like him supporting Carson Wentz. It's like, okay, bitch, you're making all this money. That's the only reason you're playing. This could still be the Heineke show. And granted, I think after they go out and potentially beat the Packers,
Mhm.
Carson Wentz might be sitting on the backseat again. And then you got Philly 2.0, where he's got someone trying to take his damn job
Listen,
because he was being out there being reckless.
isn't it? And that's exactly what I said too. And I was just sitting back thinking, oh man, he didn't broke his finger. There is no way he's coming back anytime soon. And when I saw he was out for 4 to 6 weeks, I said, well, this is looking more and more like Philadelphia all over again. It's it's ugly for him. And I feel bad for the guy. I really honestly do, because I feel like the offensive line wasn't the best either, and he didn't get a fair shake with a good offensive line. But if Taylor Heineken comes out here and drops at least 20, 24, I mean, hell, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. Last year against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they dropped 31 with Taylor Heineke at quarterback. I know what he's capable of. It's the same coaching staff, more weapons on the outside, the same tight end. You know what I'm saying? The same kind of line struggles. But there's just you right now. There's a sense of optimism right now with Taylor Heineke being a quarterback, and I'm sorry to say that about Carson Wentz, but yeah, nah, it's the Heineke show. It's the legend of Heineke. The time to come back and beat Aaron Rodgers, and I feel it. Commanders +5,
And
and honestly, Commanders
I get
outright.
what you're saying. Where a lot of people are like, I feel bad for Wentz. He catches a lot of bad breaks, but at this standpoint, he's had plenty of opportunities to prove himself. He's not the quarterback that he was in that 2017 run. When the Eagles won the Super Bowl and he got hurt, he's not the same person. I don't think he ever will be. The guy is just he made a lot of 50-50 plays, and all those 50-50 plays are turning into like 20-80. They're resulting in turnovers. They're resulting in a bad loss of downs, a lot of lost yardage. It's not sustainable for a franchise to win. And he's reckless, he's injury prone, he doesn't protect the football, and those are three essential things that your quarterback needs to be able to do: is protect the football, stay healthy, and don't have a bunch of loss of yards and downs. Like that's just you're not going to put yourself in successful positions to win, especially against good, disciplined defensive teams. So I think Commanders +5. I think it's safe to say that you also like the Commanders +5.
Right. Yes, indeed. You already know it, man. And hey, and Commanders, hey, rule of advice this week: lay off the penalties. Don't kick yourself in the gut here. All right. All you got to do is keep it clean football, and I'm telling you, the game will fall in place.
Yeah, so
The
if the
game will fall
Commanders
right
can
in
stay
place.
disciplined and
And
Taylor
I'm ready.
Heineken can just have a clean, efficient game, then I would not be surprised if the Commanders take this game. I mean, the Packers look like shit against the Jets, and it wasn't even the Jets' offense. It was special teams and defense. They had a block punt, they had a block field goal. And that's what the Jets putting up like no freaking points. So they had no offensive production. If the Commanders can go out there and play defense and get offensive production, I could easily see the Commanders win this game. But I think we're beating a dead horse at this point. So let's move on to the Giants are heading to the
Right,
Giants are heading to
right.
Jacksonville. Giants are 3-point road dogs. Jaguars at home laying 3 points. 64% of the bets are currently on the Giants. I mean, the Giants are still finding ways to win, come from behind wins. They had a great win against the Ravens last week, and yet they still find themselves as an underdog. What are you thinking in this game?
Jerry, you already know how I feel about this game. This game right here. I was on the app, the sports betting app, man. And when I first looked at this spread, I thought I was on something for a second. And I don't do nothing. I thought I was on something. You telling you're, you're telling me the same team who lost to the Colts, who had a +2 spread last week against the Colts, comes into this game against the hot 5-1 Giants. Just they just find ways to win, and yet the Giants still find themselves as underdogs. That is disgusting. Vegas, thank you for the free bet. That's how I honestly feel. All right, I'm not even leaning. I'm going Giants +3. All right, I am committing to that. I think they're going to win outright. The Jags definitely have potential. I understand that in regards to that. ETN, Lawrence, this and da. But sometimes it's the feel. It's not about the talent. It's about the feel. And this Giants team just got a feel about them. They just know how. They just find ways to win somehow, some way. A big stop here, a big touchdown there. Won't score for 4 possessions, and all of a sudden come back and score in the second to last possession with late in the game. That's just their mo. That's who they are. Brian Dable has his team fighting, and this is the most fight I've ever seen from a Giants team since Tom Coughlin. Like, do you understand what I'm saying here? Like, this team annoys the hell out of me because I honestly had them last in the NFC East, but now we are, wink, wink. But no, who
I
wouldn't take
wouldn't.
Giants +3
I
here?
wouldn't.
Honestly,
I am
Nathan.
on the Jaguars -3. This is
Oh,
part
what?
two. Part two of the
Yo,
Jared versus Dynell
you think
head to head.
you think this is the
This has not
downfall?
been a sustainable winning football team. They are getting lucky. They
No,
are getting lucky,
and you're
and luck
right.
only takes you so far. They only takes
That's
you
what I
so far,
said.
and sometimes you need a little bit of luck. Luck beats skill sometimes, but I'm telling you right now, the Jaguars are at home. They've had a pretty shitty couple weeks. Doug Peterson is not losing to the Giants. He has coached against the Giants. He is familiar with the Giants. And to be quite frank, Daniel
Good
Jones doesn't
point.
even believe he's winning these games.
Good
Have you seen his
point.
reaction when he looks up at the Jumbotron at the final score? I mean, the dude looks like a deer in headlights. He's like, "Oh my god, did we just win?" I think the Giants just love these negative emotion quarterbacks like Eli Manning to Daniel Jones. I mean, it's like two apples from the same damn tree where they still don't understand what the hell's going on even though they've been playing quarterback for several years. Give me the Jaguars -3. This is going to be an ugly game. The only way I see this game getting out of hand is if the Jaguars start putting it on them because the Giants don't blow anybody out. They're not going to blow the Jaguars out. And you're telling me the Jaguars just have to win this game by a field goal at home? Give me a damn break. I'm taking the Jaguars -3. And you're lucky we're not doing official locks today because I'd have some sound effect emotion.
Yeah.
I'm getting my one back. I told you I'm gonna get my one back this week. We're going head to head, so it looks like foreshadowing. We got Dino on the Giants versus myself on the Jaguars, and let me tell you, I can't wait to get back to 1-1. We're gonna be 500, and then I'm gonna take off on your ass. You know what? It made
Yeah,
me
yeah,
feel
yeah,
even
yeah,
better.
yeah. Whatever you say, because don't forget. We got two other games other than this too this week. Look, trust me. I got a sound effect for you too. That's tell them to bring me my
Hey,
money.
you know what?
Yeah, I'm telling
Listen,
you.
I had to
I'm
sit
telling you,
so far
man. I'm
back away
telling
from
you.
my microphone when you were going on like how the Giants are just the freest bet, and then I could not help it when you said Giants +3. Who isn't taking that? I am. I am not. Like that was so perfect. Oh man, it's almost like we
Who do
were
you
reading
think you
off the
are?
script.
I am.
Nah, dude. You know what? You said a lot of the right stuff, but
Hey,
I'm telling
hey,
you right
listen.
now, The Giants are coming back down to earth. No way the Giants go 6-1. Give me a damn break. I love the Jaguars in the spot.
Dude, listen, I said, look, I got burnt from them last week. Look, if you
Hey, you
can't
know
beat them,
what?
join them.
And
Shit,
I ain't
plus
joining that
three.
damn sinking ship.
If you can't
I'm
beat
not
them, join
hopping on
them.
the Titanic while it's halfway under. Give me the damn Jaguars.
That defense,
Oh
man.
man, Saturday's gonna
I'm
be a
telling you
fun
that.
episode.
I'm telling you
Saturday's
that
gonna be a fun
defense, boy.
episode.
Look, all right.
Remember, Saturday
Yes,
3 to 5
indeed. Oh, I
picks.
can't
Don't
wait.
go
I
under.
can't
Don't
wait.
go over. 3 to 5 picks can be full game spreads and full game totals. We're not.
Oh,
We're
yes,
just gonna
sir.
stay away from the half point or the first half, second half stuff, just in case anybody who wants to tail you or I, which after last week they probably ran away. But whoever wants to tail us, they haven't.
Right.
They have the
And
full availability on the spread.
and just right. And just know, shoot, my locks are my locks. I go to Vegas with these. I go to Vegas with these picks. I don't play around. Nah,
Oh
when I
yeah,
say
I'm
these are
pretty
my
sure
locks,
we're
these are
both
for
pretty
sure my
transparent of what
locks.
we're betting.
So get ready.
Last week I was, oh my gosh, if the Eagles didn't cover that spread, it would have been ugly for me. I would have been out there scooping up loose change off the sidewalk, but nah, Eagles definitely came through for me. But we're gonna start head. We're gonna so we have what 1, 2, 3. We have 5 games left, 4 Sunday 4 o'clock games, and then we have Sunday night football. So let's get right into that. We have we might be against each other on this one too. Oh my gosh. Uh Texans are heading to the Raiders. Raiders are 7-point home favorites. Total in the game is 45.5 points, and 63% of the bets are on the Raiders. Let me guess, Mr. Josh Jacobs fan. You like the Raiders here.
You know what's funny, man? Like I said, we had these talks before, man. It's the points, man. The points have been really winning. The points have really been winning, bro. I have no idea. My thing about the Raiders is it's the like I hate teams who have this substantial amount of talent but just can't seem to finish games when they go through it. Like I am like this is tough for me. This is really tough for me. I am a huge I was huge on the Raiders this year. I honestly believe they were going to take another step. I believe they were going to be one of the AFC playoff teams. Now, granted, they've been one play away for I don't know how many games. And this Texans team is they're not great. They're not really good, honestly. But you know, it's the points. It's Damian Pierce. It's this is tough. This is tough. If I'm leaning towards something this game, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm taking Raiders -7. After all that being said, I'm taking Raiders
My
-7 here.
gosh, man, we might as well we
It's
might
it's
as well
tough.
just
Like I
get
said,
a
it's hard for
pistol and go
me.
on a draw for a face off showdown, whatever it's called. Because I'll tell
Oh,
you what, right now, dude, I love their Texans this week. Texans +7. They're going on the road. The Raiders haven't
hmm
proven to me like they can put up points, but their defense has just been ass. Like I
they
just
don't.
they're coming off a bye. The Texans just they hang in games, man. Like Damian Pierce is a weapon. He's a really good threat. They have Brandon Cooks.
They do.
They have Nico Collins, and Nico Collins has been good this year.
hmm
I think he's like almost mirrored with receptions and targets and yards with Brandon Cooks. So they have two very vertical threats on that team. And Davis Mills, he's not no push around. He's not no PJ Walker. He's actually throwing the damn ball well. Um, you know,
Oh
this
no.
is this is more of a I'm
Oh
playing
no.
the
Oh yeah.
number.
Dang right.
And I think in this situation and the way this year has been going, I think I'd rather take the points than lay the points. So that is why I like their Texans +7. It's really nothing more than that. Like it's a play the number. Look at the matchup. The Raiders haven't been dominating anybody. They had a good game versus the Chiefs, but other than that, they're not dominating anybody. So, obviously once again we're on the opposite side of the fence, but I think Texans +7, and that might be actually be one of my main plays. I actually really like it this week.
And that's good, and I understand that from a sense of perspective. Like I said, some games have certain funny feelings to it, and I always love to play like the feelings aspect of it. I just feel like coming like they said, what didn't
Yeah,
the Raiders
Raiders
come off
coming
a
off a
bye?
bye.
Right, like you said, Raiders come
Texans
off a bye,
Texans
right?
might be coming off a bye too. I don't know if they played
Raiders are
anybody
coming off
last
a
week.
bye. Bye too. Yeah, they're both. I think they're both coming off a bye. Right, they're coming off a bye. So no team has really momentum at the moment. And I really feel like the way the Raiders feel right now and the position they're in, I really feel like they believe they're a way better football team than what they are. I feel like there's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up as far as aspects of a new coach. I mean, it is a new coach and Josh McDaniels running their home there. I believe this is the week the office just finds it. Just the same way how I feel about the who did I say found it earlier this week? I forgot who, but I just feel like the Raiders gonna find it. This is a game where they find it, they get their confidence back. I mean, Adams, Renfro, Waller, Jacobs. I mean, they're gonna put up points. They're gonna put up points, and I believe I don't believe that. I believe here's my score of the game. How Let's put it like this. I believe the score of the game is gonna be 30-20.
I could definitely see
That's
that.
kind
I
of how
could
it's gonna be
definitely
my
see
game's
that.
gonna play out.
Um,
I really feel like I said, they're gonna drop 30-20. Yeah, no,
I could definitely
that's
see
my
that.
perfect
I
scenario in
mean,
this
I think
situation.
truthfully, I lean
That's my
the
perfect
over two.
scenario.
But if this game gets ugly, which a lot of these games have been this year, I think I'd rather have the points. So I mean, the total's 45 and a half. So there's going to be some
Yeah, you're
points in
right.
this game, I believe. But I think I lean Texans plus 7. They're both fresh. They're coming off a bye. Damian Pierce has just looked fantastic. Davis Mills doesn't have to really rely on throwing the ball so much because they're getting rushing production. I don't know. Give me the Texans plus 7, but we'll see what we come to on Saturday. All this could change. We could we could sit here going back and forth on the preview show, but Saturday this could all
Sure,
change.
right.
But
Yeah.
um,
Oh my goodness.
we've got
Yeah,
a little
that's what.
we got a little twist in this Jets and Broncos game. The New York Jets plus 1 are heading to the Denver Broncos, who are 1 point favorites. So they have a 1 point spread on this game, which makes weird and no sense to me. The total is 38 points. So I mean, dude, give me a break. Um, Melvin Gordon is basically from the coach's mouth said he is set to be the main back, which is ironic because Melvin Gordon got ripped from that game and he didn't see any playing time like the whole fourth quarter. Um, it was really the Mike Boone and Latavius Murray show. They ended up losing that game, which was an ugly game. But listen to this, right? 88% of the bets are on the Jets. So people are betting on the Jets 88% of the time. 88% of the bets are on the Jets.
88.
86% of the bets are on the money. So the squares and the sharps both love the Jets plus 1. And you know, usually when I see that shit, I'm like,
Well, you
give
might
me a
as well.
break.
Yeah, if you
But like, how can you not bet the Jets? Like, how can you not? The Broncos look horrendous. They're not moving the ball. Russell Wilson, I think in the fourth quarter or the second half, I can't remember what I saw. Russell Wilson had like 14 passing yards against the Chargers. That is horrendous. But the Jets plus 1, like, make this make sense because I'm not understanding why the Jets are 1 point underdogs.
I don't make any sense of it at all. I think this is just Vegas trying to play in my head. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I the thing that kills me about it, right, is the Broncos. Russell Wilson is always one game away from just breaking loose. For some reason, like I don't know when that game's coming, but it's coming. And this is a straight setup right here. For me, already know I'm going Jets plus 1. I have the Jets winning outright. In fact, if you have any sports books that can adjust the spread, I'm probably taking the Jets -2, -3. To be honest with you, and I'm trying to get some extra money out of that. But man, like like you said, Vegas is not sold on Zach Wilson. You see that total?
Granted,
That lets you know
I'm
they
not
ain't sold
sold
on
on
Zach
Zach
Wilson.
Wilson,
They
but I
ain't
damn
sold on
sure
Russell
am
Wilson
not
either.
sold on
So
Russell Wilson. Like, dude, this total is at 30. Listen, this total is 38 points, and I am debating on
38 points.
betting the under. That's awful. I just don't know how they're going to score. Like, it's going to be a battle of the defenses. Like, the punters are going to punt the ball 20 times each, and they are going to try to kick 50-yard field goals. Like, I just don't see where the scoring comes from. Like, the Broncos have a really good defense. The Jets, are defense is playing out of their mind. Sauce Gardner is one of the best corners in the league right now. Like, I just don't see how you could take the Broncos and I don't see how you could take the over. Like, I like the Jets. I like the under. I think it's going to be a slugfest. I mean, I'd be surprised if there were 3 touchdowns in this game, dude. I think the Jets get one. I think the Broncos get one, but I think it's ultimately going to come down to field goals, maybe safeties, special teams plays. Like, Salah has the special teams buzzing over there in New York, man. Like, those guys are getting to the ball. They're making
Working,
plays on
boy.
special teams, and that's
Working.
been the difference. The Jets offense hasn't been anything spectacular besides Brees Hall, and he's going to be running into the Broncos defense all game. Give me a break, dude. 38 points is a joke for an NFL game, and I would not be surprised if this shit soars under. Like, I would not be surprised if this is like a 13-10 game, like Jets win.
We've seen it before with the Broncos.
That's what I'm saying. Like, no touchdowns. Like, the
We've seen
Broncos,
12
dude,
9.
and they're on
What's
prime
surprised
time so
13 games.
often. Get them the hell out of here. Flex these games, man. We're almost in the middle of the season. Start flexing these games. Nobody wants to see this shit. Nobody wants to, and it's almost torture because everybody want to watch football when it's on, and the only game available is the Broncos, and you're going to throw like the Colts in there and the Chargers who have been struggling. Get them the hell off my TV, man. Um, I don't even want to talk about this game anymore. Yeah, literally, dude. And did you
Let's
see him slip
ride.
that in at a press conference? They were talking about the game. He said, "All right." And he said, "All right, Broncos country," and he walk away, and it sounds like, "Let's rock." It's
Yeah.
like, dude, get the hell
Yep.
off the mic. And that whole report that him and Daniel Hackett, or I think it's Daniel Hackett, the head coach, sitting at Russ's locker. Nathaniel, that's right. Nathaniel Hack. I don't even give a shit about. I don't
Yeah.
care about his name. Him and Hackett sitting at at Russ's locker for 40 minutes after the game,
Right.
and Russ is sitting there with his cleats and shoulder pads on. Dude's a psycho. Go. I don't. Danger Russ is danger ass. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, and I think my biggest thing, and it's so hard to say because like I've never seen a quarterback go from like an A- quarterback to like an F. Like, how did he have such a drop off? Like, I don't believe this is Russell Wilson's like main ability. Like, I think it's truly the coaching. I think Hackett is just a terrible coach. I don't think he's competitive enough. I don't think he puts a drive. I don't think he puts he needs to put his foot up somebody's ass to get these Broncos to play right. I think he has like his receivers like Judy and Cortland Sutton. I think they're just not like as seasoned as like Russ's previous weapons. Like, I don't know, dude. I think everybody was so high on this Broncos team, and it's so bad to see how like terrible they're playing. Like, I don't know, man. I just it, I, it's too many
It's a
things
mix of
going
both.
on to make sense
I
of
feel
it.
like it's a
Like,
mix of both.
the Broncos should not be this bad, dude. They should be putting up points and they should be playing defense. And Hackett is an offensive minded coach, and that's been his weakness. A lot of these coaches go to the teams and they're defensive minded, and their defense is awesome, and their offense is struggling. But this is the opposite. He's an offensive coach. He's going to the Broncos. His defense is buzzing, and the offense is shitty. They're struggling to score a touchdown a game. Like, I don't know, dude.
Isn't Hackett?
Yeah, he
Isn't it
is.
Hackett
You remember Aaron
from that
Rodgers? Like,
Packers
oh yeah, I
tree?
like Hackett. Yeah, which makes
He's from the
no
Packers tree, right?
sense.
Yeah, yeah. Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. That's the offense. You can see it. Look at the Packers now without Devontae Adams. It was not the coach. That coach got a hot deal, got a hot fresh deal off of Aaron Rodgers' coattails and off of Devontae Adams' coattails. He went with the Broncos and he is unseasoned. And at this point too, let's be honest. This is what Russ wanted, right? A lot of people talk about how Russ wanted to run his show, let Russ cook, kind of keep that going right now at this point. And you see the way Geno Smith is playing out in Seattle, and you see the way he's playing in the Broncos. It's not a coincidence throughout the first 7 weeks, man. Like, this is like, you have to give Pete Carroll some sort of credit in the way right now from the way Russell Wilson's looking right now. You gotta give Pete Carroll some credit for what he's done in that situation that Russell Wilson was in. But we'll see. I still believe in Russ. I still believe Russ can cook, man. And that
I think
game's
that
coming.
the
Just
biggest the
wait. I don't
biggest
know when it's coming,
takeaway
but
from
it's
this
coming.
is,
He's going to break out
Pete
eventually.
Carroll is a 70-year-old defensive minded coach, and his offense looks better than Hackett, who is a young offensive coach. That's just unacceptable. The Broncos have more pieces. I think I give the edge to the Seattle receivers just because DK and Tyler Lockett, and they can make plays anywhere on the field. But granted, their offensive lines are completely different. The quarterbacks are completely different. The personnel is completely different. It's just the Seahawks should not be balling out so much better than the Broncos. Like they got to figure it out. This is a very letdown spot, and the Jets +1 getting over 88, like 85% of the money and the bets is it's telling. So, but I don't know. We're gonna move on. The Chiefs, the Chiefs are heading
That's
to
scary to
San
me.
Fran. The
That's
Chiefs
still
are
scary to me.
3-point road favorites. Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid both coming off a loss last week. 49ers a little bit worse than the Chiefs. Game total is 48.5 points, which seems about right. But 82% of the bets are on the Chiefs. And my goodness, when you called me this early this week and we're like, yo, the Chiefs -3, we both sat there and were like, yo, that seems wild. I sat down, I looked at some stuff, and man, have I had a change of heart. For some reason, I love this 49ers +3 this week. It might be one of my favorite bets. Kyle Shanahan back-to-back losses is like non-existent. Home dog, like non-existent. Like I love the 49ers in this spot. Uh, what are your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts are simple. I got burnt that the fact that that D line wasn't there last week because the Falcons ran all over that D line. So it really depends on the injuries, man. Like this is something that this is a game. This is a game for me where I would think of dang near game time decision late Saturday. You know, I would lean because right now I'm leaning towards the Chiefs -3, but I do want to see how that defense comes out to look. Does Mosley comes back? Does Verrett come back? I
Yeah, Bosa
believe
and
you said
Williams are on
what
track to
Bosa and
play,
Williams are on
and
track to play.
Verrett
Like those
is
are
looking
big,
like he's
huge
on track to
pieces.
play. He
So tell me
was,
this: is Armstead
I
playing?
think Kinlaw was limited. I don't think
Is Kinlaw
Armstead
playing?
practiced today. I think he did not participate.
See, but those are big. See, look, that's why I'm saying I'm going to have to sit here and wait until like Saturday. My initial pick though is Chiefs -3. Like you said, that whole if the Chief if the 49ers I feel like with that +3 kind of helps them a little bit, but I really feel like it would definitely help once Armstead comes back and Kinlaw comes back. Matter of fact, that spread might change later on
Well,
throughout this week if they do come back.
I
That's a
think
big
this is a
issue there
okay.
too. It's a big
I'm
thing to
gonna
keep an
speak
eye
to
on.
everybody who's like, which isn't much, which isn't many people, but for people who like the 49ers like this week, like I do, this line is going to move heavier to the Chiefs. I can already see it. I think it's going to close about Chiefs -4, which means you can get 49ers
Yeah,
+4, which I love. You get the hook from the +3, and you're sitting at a 4 point where if they score a field goal and the Chiefs go down and score a touchdown, you're covering that difference too. So I still see this Chiefs because the public is still going to hammer the Chiefs. I don't know where the money's going to come, but I do really like the 49ers in the spot, and I think this is a wait spot. This is like a wait till Saturday night, early Sunday morning, because I definitely think this line is going to favor the Chiefs more.
right.
So
Gonna change. Right. And I don't blame you for that.
huge
Yeah,
spread.
and that's
Yeah,
a big
it's
difference.
such a
Plus
it's such
three
a
and plus
difference in the
four
score
is a
gap.
huge difference.
Yep,
A
it's such a
huge
difference in the
difference.
score gap,
Cause
and
that's
one
cause
team
that
can
cause then
score a
that's
touchdown, the
mentality.
other team can score a field goal, and you're
Right.
still covering that. So that 1 point doesn't sound like a lot, but obviously in NFL, like every point you can get is huge. So that's definitely going to be a line to look for. That's going to be another really good game, dude. The Chiefs are coming off a really good game to the Bills, and then they run into the 49ers, another really dominant defensive team. This is going to be a good game, dude. But this is definitely where Patrick Mahomes has to pick it up and lead his team to victory. It's just there's no ifs, ands, or buts. They can't take back-to-back losses against two opponents that are potentially playoff matchups. Like they could see the Bills in the Super Bowl, or not in the Super Bowl. They could see the Niners in the Super Bowl. They could see or the Bills in the playoffs. So these are two potential playoff matchups if the Niners make it all the way, and the Bills are obviously going to make the playoffs. So these are going to be really good games. But do you have anything else?
Oh no, no, nope. I'm gonna leave it
All
just like
right,
it is. Chiefs
Garoppolo, manage that
-3.
game. Cover that three
Patrick,
fourths
get to
for me,
work.
man.
Get to
It's
work.
obviously gonna come down to injuries, though. As is what he does. As long as he can handle,
That's what he do
don't turn
though.
the ball
That's
over,
what he
then I think
do.
he'll be
That is
okay.
what he
But
do.
All right, so we got 2 games left, so let's go ahead and start wrapping this up. We have the Seahawks +6 heading to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. Chargers are 6-point home favorites. The total is 51 points, which sounds incredibly high right now between both these teams' performance
Disgusting.
last week. But 86% of the bets are on the Seahawks,
Disgusting.
and this
Disgusting.
might be one of the public sides that I
Disgusting.
really like this week. I think I really like the Seahawks +6. What do you think? My God, it's been a while.
Damn, we finally agreed for the first time in a very long time. Yeah, Seahawks. Yeah, six. Yeah, that +6, man. It's there's something about the Seahawks right now. They're just in a different vibe right now, man. They're really rocking and rolling. They're really you can tell that everybody believes in that system with Pete Carroll. Kenneth Walker came out and ran strong once again. Like I said, we talked about this with the Seahawks. They always have a slew of running backs, right? The two, three pretty damn good running backs in that system. Travis Homer is still out there. Kenneth Walker got his opportunities, and Rashad Penny, unfortunately ended his season like last game. And I don't know what's going on with the Chargers offense. I mean, Justin Herbert should be putting up historical numbers to me, but once again, it goes back to coaching too. Some of the coaching decisions going over there in San Diego
Yeah,
has
Brandon
been
Staley's a dumbass.
cringy to say the least. I actually think
Literally.
right. Yeah, Brandon Staley is stale. That's what the hell going on. He is stale. That team is stale. That thing is
Yeah, give me a
stale.
break, dude.
And you
Stop.
saw
Like,
that
what are we
JC
talking about?
Jackson
Why are
got
we taking
benched
our
too.
playmakers off
Did,
the
did you
field
see
because
that?
they had a bad first half? Like, if you want to instill confidence, you kick them in the ass, you tell them go make a damn play, you send them back on the field. You don't take one of your best corners, obviously one of a top corner in the league. There's a reason why they wanted to sign him for all that damn money. And you don't pull him out of the damn game. Give me a break. They're lucky they won that shit because honestly, if they lost that would have been a huge talking point taking JC Jackson out of that game.
Exactly my point. And on top of that too, like I said, there's this thing called coaching, and trust me, I think coaching can make up a 6 point difference, man. So, oh yeah, I'm definitely rocking with the +6. I feel like they're gonna run the ball pretty efficiently. I don't see it being even close to 51. I'd say more of like a 40. Like it's gonna be like a in the 20, in the 40s range to me. But no, they like the Seahawks to me. I mean, like I said, how can you not play the Seahawks right now? Seahawks are hot off the spread as well, man. And they went in there and to beat the Cardinals, and they had plus
Yeah,
three,
something
and they
crazy.
won what 19-9. So like they played pretty. They played they played pretty good defense on a team that should be explosive. Granted, we know they have coaching troubles, and Kyler Murray's been struggling, but still
I
talent
mean,
wise, that team is pretty damn decent. And hopefully the Chargers can
it's
find
just
it.
it's
I mean, I
crazy
don't know
because
where
we're
they're going
looking
to
at the
find it,
six
but
point
I don't think they're
spread,
going
and
to find it
I
this
think
week.
we both convincingly saying like, oh, I could see the Seahawks winning this game. Like 6 points. A couple years ago, you're saying 6 point spread. You're like, I
Exactly.
don't know about that, man. 6 points. They're pretty heavy underdogs. But 6 points this year, it's like, Seahawks. I could easily see them going in there and stealing a game in Los Angeles. But the Seahawks are going back to back on, in my opinion, two coaching matchups where they have the advantage. Pete Carroll outcoached Cliff Kingsbury, and he is going to outcoach Brandon Staley. Uh, I just don't see how you can't take 6 here. I think the public is nailing it early in this week with 86% of the bets on the Seahawks, and I see why. I think I'd stay away from this total because of the way that the Seahawks and Chargers performed last week, and you're telling me you gotta get like 25 points out of them each. It seems a little steep. But I'm with you, man. Seahawks +6. I like it a lot. Um, so that'll take us to the last
Hmm.
game, Sunday
Yes,
night
sir.
football. In the spread speaks for itself, but I think we have a pretty good matchup. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers, who Kenny Pickett was a full participant in practice. Um, wouldn't be surprised if he plays. We also have the Dolphins, where Tua has gotten cleared, and he looks like he's going to play. Um, Obviously, you have Teddy Bridgewater, so I guess we should really wait for the quarterback matchups. But I wouldn't be surprised if Tua is back this week. Um, you never know. It depends on the backlash from the league, so we'll see what they do. But it's either going to be Teddy or Tua, and I think it's going to be Pickett. 54% of the bets are on the Dolphins -7. um, 44 and a half total. This is a difficult game to cap. Um, it's hard to take a side. It's if Tua
Yeah,
plays, I think he
that's
lights this
7.
team up.
That's 7.
The Dolphins have been playing pretty well. They've gone through a second string, a third string, back to a second string, and Teddy Bridgewater lit up the Vikings last week. He had the ball in his hands too much. He threw those two bad interceptions and kind of took him out of the game. But Teddy Bridgewater was lighting the Dolphins. I mean, the Vikings defense up. Now they're going to the Pittsburgh are coming to town, and the Pittsburgh Steelers just beat the Buccaneers. So this is definitely a tough spot. Perfectly honest, I think this is a stay away game. Just kind of watch it and enjoy it. There's just too many like outside
Yes,
factors.
indeed.
Like who are the
Yeah, and
quarterbacks
just
going to
yeah.
be? Where are we getting healthy? Jalen Waddle. Last I saw, he was battling something. I don't know if he's playing or not. I need to look into that a little bit more by Saturday. But there's just too many like outside factors relying on this game, and I don't want to sit here and put money on the Dolphins or the Steelers, and then this is happening and this is happening, and it's just I don't know. What do you think?
Well, yeah, stay away game for sure. Big stay away game for sure. It's the spread for me. You know what I'm saying? If you gave me Dolphins minus 3.5, yeah, I could see like a Dolphins minus 3.5. But 7 is pretty steep considering the fact that, like you said, you don't know. We know Tua is coming back, but Tua is coming back from a 2 week hiatus, and the man was got his bell rung. I mean, like they said, didn't he talk about his experience at one point? Like he really lost consciousness or something like that.
Yeah, he was like
it's
out of it. He
scary,
didn't really know what was going on for a little bit.
right? And there's always a set of injuries that I don't play around with when it comes to a quarterback, and that's the mental aspect because you have to make those reads quick, fast, and make decisions on the fly. And getting your bell rung like that and being out with a concussion for 2 weeks, you're not going to come back processing as fast as you think they would. That's personally me, how I feel about that. Um, Granted, you got Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. They put up big numbers. I don't know how many times they put up big numbers every game, no matter if they win or lose. Tyreek Hill had what 150, 160 something receiving yards, and they lost last week.
177 receiving yards on a loss.
177 receiving yards on a loss. That is ridiculous. But it all depends too. I know Minka Fitzpatrick was out last week. I have to take a look. Is Minka Fitzpatrick was he a practice participant this week? Do you happen to know?
Yeah, I think he was limited today. But there's just so many relying factors. Like the latest thing I
Exactly.
just looked up was Jalen Waddle. They're optimistic that he'll play. So being optimistic is
Yeah.
very key. So I think we both agree this is just such a stay away game. You just don't know what you're going to get. Like this line is very steep, and you don't exactly know what these starting lineups are going to be. If you take the Dolphins -7 and you rolling out there with Teddy Bridgewater and no Jalen Waddle, you're going to be like, damn. If you take the Steelers +7, they're rolling out there with no Minka Fitzpatrick and Mitch Trubisky, which granted Mitch Trubisky in the late in that last game for the Steelers against the Buccaneers, he was lighting them up. Then you're like, damn. So, but you also have the Steelers coming off a big win versus the Buccaneers. So are they due for a letdown spot? It is Sunday night prime time and prime time unders. Those have been hitting like crazy. So if I did have to take a side, I'd probably go with the under and just hope for a shitty game. But I can only take so much of those. But yeah, I think this is gonna be a stay away game. I think it's gonna be a stay away game for both of us.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so those are all the games. We will cover Monday Night Football on the Monday edition with myself. There's a lot of good games this week. There's a lot of division games. There's a lot of spreads that don't make sense, but you could see a coin flip to whoever wins. So there's some good football to look forward to. There's some really good bets to get on. It sounds like a little bit of foreshadowing. Donnell and myself are on opposite sides for a lot of stuff. So
Battle. It's
the
gonna be a
head-to-head
battling week
record
this week.
the head-to-head record will be on the line. And I'm telling you, I'm ready this week. I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. I've got some good spots. You've got some
I'm
good
glad.
spots
I'm
too.
glad you did.
But
Yeah, I know. It's
so
yeah, it's gonna be a tough week, man. It's gonna be a grinding week. It's gonna be exciting. This is probably the most excited I'm gonna be this week. I just want to see where my spreads land. And trust me, going against you, I mean, trust me, you're like the mastermind. I understand how you work, man. You
well, I
operate you have
appreciate
like an
that.
engine, boy. You
Especially
operate like a smooth engine, boy. Come on, man.
especially hearing that from last week, man. 2-3 last week. could have been so worse. It could have been so
Well,
worse. All of those games. Well, okay, the Browns were never really in it. They played like shit. But Packers, same thing. They played like shit. But the Saints was a hard one to lose. That was a hard pill to swallow. But yeah. So we'll go through Saturday. We'll finalize our picks. We'll go head to head on a couple. We'll put the head to head record on the line. And then we'll come back here
yes, sir.
Monday for the recap, see how we did, see how good or good or bad we did. I think we're gonna have a good week. One of us is gonna have a good week, right? If we're going ahead to watch
Yeah,
it, one of us
yeah,
has
yeah,
to
yeah.
have a
One
good
of us
week,
got
but
a
we're
good
gonna
week.
go about even. Yeah, so
Right.
that's gonna wrap it up. That's gonna do it for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you listened all the way through, thank you so much. You
Hey,
can
big
follow
dog.
us on Twitter at @shredthespread_. You can also follow us on TikTok at @shredthespread. Our podcast is available on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. You can choose your platform, whatever you like to listen to this podcast on. We have episodes every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday. The schedule is going to be Dynel and myself on Thursday doing this episode. Then Dynel and myself on Saturday will go briefly through the games and give our finalized picks and our records up on the line. And then Monday I'll be doing the recap with just myself, a quick 30-minute episode, so we can see how we did from last week. We'll talk about the Monday Night Football game, and we'll get a pick on that. So
Yes,
again,
sir.
thank you guys for so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed the
Hey,
podcast,
Jared.
please do us a huge favor and rate. And what's up?
Hey, just give you a heads up, man. Always remember, in order to be the man, you got to beat the man. Woo!
Let's get out of here, man. Thank you so
Yes,
much for
sir,
tuning into the Shred the Spread podcast. I'm Jared. That's my co-host, Donnell. We appreciate you tuning in. Until next time, we will see you.